Hey, just a warning, if you haven't seen part 1, you should go watch it right now. I don't mean you have to watch it, but this video would make a lot more sense and be a lot more entertaining if you went ahead and saw part uno. Now, on to the video. Okay, assuming you already saw part 1, you already know all my classes, a few characters that are supposed to have a pretty big role in this entire series. We're going to cover basically 1 month's worth of content per episode in 9 episodes per year or 10. I don't know if I feel like expanding it. Anyways, by this point in 6th grade, I've already gotten used to my classes. I've gotten to know a couple of people in my classes, and I just have some stories to tell you guys. So one day while I'm in advocacy, I'm sitting with Emily on a bench in the PE locker rooms. One of her friends named Sophie, the one y'all know IRL, starts talking to me, and I start to get to know them both. Literally, like, in the first month of school, they started play hitting me, and the teacher, Mr. R, the PE teacher, thought I was crying for some reason and decided to send the 3 of us to the counselor's office, even though we all knew that we were joking around. It was just a misunderstanding and misinformation. It's fine. This was the first and only time I'd ever got sent to the counselor's office. The counselor is Mr. T. We'll call him that because he's a nice dude, and T was the start of his last name. He was really cool. We got to know him a lot later in the year, or a lot later in my middle school career. I wish I got to know him better sooner because he's actually like really cool, but we got in there and we kind of just cleared up the entire situation with him. We were like, hey, we're just play fighting, nothing really big happened, and we just cleared up the situation, and it was just misunderstanding. So we were all just sent back to class. At this point it was break, so we kind of just parted ways since I didn't really hang out with either of them like outside of class very often. At this point, I started hanging out with some kids near the library. I was really into this trading card game called Yu-Gi-Oh, and I still am, if you can't tell. But when I met these couple of kids who played outside the front of the library, I knew I would become a god because they were casuals. Alright, I went up to them and I 1v5'd. Guess what? I won, therefore becoming an absolute beast. Dylan, Freddie, Nolan, Joseph, Marvin, and Ivan were my friends who sat in front of the library, and we all grew as Yu-Gi-Oh players together. Obviously, there was a skill gap between us, but it would close really quickly. I went from being able to win all of the 1v5s to only being able to win 70% of the time against one person. So at the time I was playing Lightsworn because it was like meta, but once the ban list basically destroyed the deck, I really didn't have time or dedication or money to make a new deck. So instead, I decided to use a really janky Lightsworn build that revolved around killing with Judgment Dragons. I used a bunch of placeholders for the missing cards that were like green grass or whatever. Eventually, Dylan got an Odd Eyes Pendulum Magician deck thing and absolutely destroyed me every single time. I went from being able to beat him 70% of the time to only winning 30 or 40% of my games against this Odd Eyes Pendulum Magician monstrosity. Now, everyone else was playing off-meta decks, which were pretty easy to destroy. Nolan was playing Cosmos and like Gravekeepers or whatever. Ivan was playing like dinosaurs. Freddie and Joseph were running this Dark Magician deck with like the 3 deck build, the one with Cyber Dragon, Dark Magician, and Odd Eyes. Yeah, Freddie and Joseph were doing that one. They were doing the Magician hype train, and there I was, now literally the second best Yu-Gi-Oh player in a group where I dominated for literally a month and a half. How did I fall this far? I don't know. In class, I was doing great. At this point, I didn't like Rebecca anymore. We were just friends at this point in time, and we still are. I would go on to set my eyes on someone else. Unfortunately, it wouldn't turn out how I liked, but in PE, we would have a lot of fun with our football unit. I wasn't really any good at football, neither do I intend to be good at football in any way, shape, or form, but I had a lot of fun with it. I would really learn a lot from that class, and I learned that I really liked running. Wow, who knew? In English, I was literally living the dream life in Mrs. Dalton's classroom, dude. We had so much fun. I was liking the class so much. we ended up working on like a poetry unit. I never ended up making a poem that sounded, or I ended up making a poem that sounded like a love poem, but was directed towards no one. Everyone assumed it was directed towards Emily, so that ship kind of sailed. But I didn't really like her, so nothing ever happened. At this point, we haven't really hung out a lot outside of class, but every time we did hang out in class, we talked a lot, and we basically were inseparable, which gave people the assumption that, hey, I have a feeling something's going on, but nothing was going on. It was pretty funny, actually. I remember laughing at everyone because like they were all like, oh, Alec, Emily, haha, but no, like we were cool, that's all. Anyways, I remember us doing like an argumentative essay about bullying with her and Dorothy. It was actually really fun. We had a lot of good times, like just researching. We goofed off like 90% of the time, but Mrs. Dalton helped us. She gave us the encouragement to get through our horrible procrastination, and in the end we actually ended up doing really well on that project, so it was pretty cool. Unfortunately for us though, Miss Dalton's class was the farthest away from the lunch area, meaning that we were always the last in line, and the line wrapped around the entire freaking school, bro. At this point, we kind of just gave up on the fact that we were gonna get to the line first, but thankfully Miss Dalton was there and gave us front of the line passes. She also offered reading days during lunch every time. It was really fun. Sometimes I would stay, sometimes I wouldn't, but honestly, I preferred spending all my time in front of the library, either destroying or getting destroyed by kids. Alright, another point, I realized that our science teacher, Mr. P, mostly liked teaching by giving us projects and having us read the textbook while we were doing this project. I guess it was fine, I learned, but honestly, it's not the best way for me to learn because I don't remember anything. If you give me a project, I will remember the info, but once I'm done with the project, it all escapes my brain. I cannot learn from reading a textbook. That's just personally my thing. I can't read. I can't learn by reading. I can read, but I can't learn by reading. Yes. I guess it's a fine way to teach kids, but it barely worked, for me at least. Also, music workshop was divided into 4 parts. We had guitar, music production, percussion, and choir. Personally, music production was the best. I had the best, and I mean the best, Ode to Joy remix, trap dubstep, oh yeah, chill. I had all the remixes. I was the king. Nah, but honestly though, it was amazing. I enjoyed music production. I don't know if that's biased because I am a music producer, but all of them were all around amazing. I learned a lot from all 4 of them. Guitar was really fun. Choir not my thing, but still, hey, I learned a bit from choir. Percussion, it was just kind of us screwing around anyways. So this video is getting kind of long anyways. Thank you for watching. Remember to never underestimate the power of the Scouts Code. And I'll see you next time. Wow. Oh my gosh, we literally hit 350 subscribers and I didn't even notice. This is so bad. Thank you everyone for 350 subscribers. We're at 356 right now. This is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Actually unfathomable that we got here so fast. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you so much, honestly. For all the guys who subscribed, shout outs to you, and please continue to support and grow my channel, because you guys are the only hope I have left that I'm actually gonna be successful in life. Thank you. Goodbye.